Oh my God. Hello. That took such a long time. I was just about to shut this thing off. That's neither here nor there. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. Um, I hope this later ends up being something that is a positive recording that does not what do we call it? Interrupt. The signal is not interrupted. I'm exhausted. I have not slept. I've been traveling all day. I've been in meetings all day. I've had a lot of phone calls. So I'm happy to give y'all what I got. So today I want to talk to you about some messages that were coming in for me after a few hours of fasting. And I was shown specifically two men in my life who had secret enemies. So the first was it wasn't even a secret. For me, it was just so blaringly obvious. I was surfing in this town, Puerto Escondido, and everybody comes there from all over the world. And I ended up meeting this, like, oh, he was such a really chill guy. And he's from Australia. And then there was another guy from the US. And sometime around October, I started getting this feeling about this guy. I was like, something is off about him. Something is really off. Now, this guy from Australia is just like, he's so I don't know. He's so unassuming. He was just really sweet. I really cared about him. And he became one of my closest friends during that time. Although he was very shy, he had a kind of tendency to be shy. Now, as I continue talking, we're going to find some kind of um, some unifier between this, okay? And our mutual friend was the guy who always threw all the parties. He was the one who was known the most. He was the one who was the most um, he threw all the parties. He wanted everybody to show up at his house. So he was kind of like this controlling person in a gentle way. Now, what I saw of this person's soul was it was an ugly soul. I didn't see someone who was beautiful. I saw this person who was just genuinely that. Like, he was just, without giving too many defining characteristics, I'm just going to go ahead and do it. He was crippled. And that's what I saw in the spirit. I saw this guy was just a crippled dude. So I was like, okay. My hair keeps getting stuck. One moment. So he just came off that way. Okay, he's just one crippled dude. Excuse me. So I'm thinking, okay, like, let me just move forward. As I started seeing more and more about this guy and their duet, he was really jealous of him. One day, me and this Australian guy, we got really close, and he said, "Well, come on, can I just tell him this about you?" And I was like, "No." And he's like trying to share this with me, but the thing was, I wanted to tell him, which I wish I had. This guy's jealous of you. Like, men can be pretend to be so buddy buddy, but it's blaringly obvious to the people on the outside that this person's jealous. And men, if you don't cut certain people out of your life, they will ruin some of the best relationships that you could ever have just by introducing them to your friends. And how does this happen? Well, let me give you the second case. The second case is a friend who I really, again, seem to care about, but uses the influence of another guy to allow or to stop people from coming into his life who could help him flourish. So this guy is actually younger, and he's just a very gentle heart and soul. And just from meeting him, you can just feel that he's just beautiful. And the other person comes in again, just kind of like with this strange energy, almost, let's just call it what it is a demonic energy. And it's hard not to want to get involved and say, your friends suck. But I've had to do that with people I've been dating. So This friend is completely blocked him from having people who would help his life flourish, because either he wants it for himself or he comes out being very jealous. Men, these are your closest friends. These are your friends who you buddy with and you tell your innermost thoughts to. I like this girl. I think about asking her out. I want to go and do X, Y, and Z. This is what I'm talking about. This is the make or break. So for a lot of you, you're like, well, this is my good friend. But just bring somebody from the outside in who sees everything, who is very discerning, and they will tell you, no, friend from Australia, no, this person's jealous of you. They're using things that you have to get leverage over you because they don't want to see you succeed. Now, what was the common denominator between these two men? They're both they gave a lot of power to their friends. Everything that their friends thought, oh, okay, really? Yeah, okay, I'll go along with it. And what was the other characteristic? These people, their friends, had good qualities, but they were bad people. Now, it was really important for me to really determine that. There are people who are good people with bad characteristics or bad qualities, and there's bad people with good characteristics. And sometimes we have a tendency to only cling to those which have the good characteristics because that's all we can see. Oh, we just ignore the fact that, this person who's like this head honcho of all the surf parties, he shovels more coke up his nose than, there is snow. But, he's so nice. He's always inviting you to the parties. He always lets you come hang out. This is a demon, guys. This is a demon. And this is the common denominator. So there will be good characteristics, and they're kind of very showy. And they have a way of really manipulating and making it seem like they're doing it for the other person's interest. I mean, men, I don't know how else to say this, but there's going to be a time where you have to get a backbone, or your whole life is going to be ruined by other people who don't want to see you succeed. Now, I'm speaking to you because there's a lot of women out here who really need you. There's women who need leadership. There's women who want to trust, to submit to honor men who know where they're going. There's a desire, there's an innate need for women to want to be led, to trust you. But if everything that you do, you go and tell so-and-so who doesn't even have, who looks like he has his life right, but his life ain't right. Let's keep it 100. His life is not right. So it's hard, to have good friendships or relationships if you don't know about this gentle sabotager. So on the other end, now what can we do, Marinike? How can we reach out to, how can people approach us to tell us this friend isn't good? Well, first of all, you have to know who you are. The two common denominators between the two was that their friends were heavily influencing them. They had almost infiltrated every aspect of their life, coming up to visit him. This other friend was, he was a lifeguard. The other guy was just some random dude who has maybe some mental issues, but would always take advantage of the fact that, oh, hey, there's going to be a lifeguard boat. It's going to take us over here, and I'm going to ride with you. Yeah, you're my friend. Yeah, that's the person I'm talking to. So he invades into all of these relationships. Well, I'm the one who has the house. You're coming over to my house. This is some sort of dominion. This person has something over them. Yes and no. I want to say almost personality-wise. These are almost kind of very gullible. That's the word that's coming to me. Gullible men. Now you can't quite, and now then comes the other question. Can men actually be men if they're gullible? Well, can women be women if they're not vulnerable? if they're not gullible as well? I mean, can you still get scammed even though you're not gullible? Yes. I mean, everybody has a tendency to fall into this, but I'm almost seeing that this would be a pattern in other people's lives. How can we ask you to lead us? How can we ask men to be kings? Or maybe you're not one. And that's so awful to say because that's not true. Everyone has their own form of kingdom within themselves. So when your best friend is your worst enemy, they're your secret quiet enemies. Oh my goodness. You know what just came to me? So I was in Malaysia, and I was actually doing a quick counseling session with this guy. And it's like quick. It's not actually like full on consultation. It was just, we talked for only 25 minutes. Okay, yeah, it was pretty much a full on consultation because at that point I showed him he had his own revelation. When I said, look, he was telling me, I said, you've never loved someone and then just up and lost them. And as we start talking in this exchange, he's telling me, oh my God. And he just starts crying. He said, I fell in love with this one woman and I told my best friend. And one day she called me and she asked me never to call her again. And then when I saw this best friend of mine, he told me he was engaged with her. And he just was like, the tears in his eyes at first just came flooding down. And we're sitting in a pool, like enjoying this beautiful jungle of Southeast Asia. And it was so hard, to see someone love someone and lose them and then just come back and say, well, it's cool. It's all right. I'm not even worried. I've actually grown from that. But like, don't discredit that, man. Okay. That emotion that you feel of betrayal, that is real. That emotion is real. And I'm clapping my hands to make a point that emotion is real. So it's not, oh, well, I can just learn better next time. It's about building a community of people we can trust and people who have our back. Now, a lot of this started coming in, I'm not going to lie, because some Meghan Markle came and Harry, if that's his name, kept coming up. And how this now all of a sudden this guy's isolated from his family. But let me tell you, as a strong woman, I'm straight up telling a lot of you, I'm telling all of you who are listening, if it's some of your homies, then I'm like, oh, yo, that homie gotta go. He's not a homie for real because he's sabotaging every time you have an amazing woman either he likes. All the women that he likes, you both like. They end up liking you, not him. So he's mad. This person feels, oh my gosh, you're younger than me and I should have dominion. These are not people who are supportive of you. So as a woman who speaks out, I'm not someone who's going to say, oh yeah, no, well, let's just abide by that. No, honey, no. If you're with me, we're not putting any man's name on your back. No jersey are you wearing that you are glorifying another man. No way are you going to be like supporting somebody else. No way is somebody else going to influence you unless they are your mentor, influencing you in positive ways that you can continue to grow and be accountable and to be around people who really seriously want to see you succeed. Now, this was one of the biggest issues for me with the person that the first person I really started dating. And it was just hard. He had just the most lousy friends. And I turned to him and I was like, look, your friends got to go. Look, let me introduce you to somebody who is better for you. They're a better match. He makes sense. He takes care of his looks. His family life may be a mess, but he cares about his schooling. He cares about your feelings. He cares. He just cares. He's a better person. So I introduced him into this other person. Now, I'm not seeing here like, it's not that song, Clean Up Woman. No, that's actually talking about something else. But this is real. If somebody cares about you, just like I talked about in a previous video about how God had been dealing with me, uh, when I love and care about somebody, I'm going to tell you, yo, bro, your friends suck. Like and not just say, oh, they suck. I don't like this person. I'm going to introduce you to more people. And then I'm going to say, look, I think this person that we just met might be a better match for your other friends. Maybe I may not say why, because you may not need somebody bossy. I mean, as men, you don't really want to be, you can take criticism, but not just to be told what to do. You don't need like, you need mentorship, you need respect at the same time, and you also need to arrive at some of these things on your own. So I understand as a woman, sometimes you have to arrive there on your own. Like I've had these experiences myself, to be honest, just kind of like, okay, I need to just be quiet and you can figure it out yourself. And it's with love and humility that I'm happy to bring this to you guys, because we your friends, your sisters, your future partners, your future wives, your future mothers of your children, don't want to, have, we don't want to bring anybody into a toxic environment. No children, no other. I mean, let me just tell you this real quick. I was almost so disgusted as I'm telling you this story about this guy. Although he was like, he came out looking like some war hero or whatever. And I'm not trying to say whatever, but he was in somebody else's, he was the other person's best man. And the way he was talking about somebody else cheating or being semi-faithful and blasting everybody's news, let me tell you, gentlemen, that is not your friend. Somebody who's always, even in your group of guys now, like they call me a bro chick. Like it's just normal. I feel most comfortable when I'm with my bros, like just other guy friends, and I can just let that come out, and I'm just happy, just happy to be, with the guys. And so when this started happening, you're with the guys, and he's bringing out your stuff, even if it's negative. Hey, he cheated on this girl, and he's laughing about it, or, negative or positively. That's not a friend. A friend who cannot keep your secrets is not your friend. I'm not sure what this guy was after. He was chasing clout. Maybe he was lonely. Maybe he's desperate, but this is not your friend. So you may not be able to hear this from someone else, but you need to hear it. So I'm happy to be the one, to be the messenger, to tell you, yeah, some of your friends don't have your back. They are your closest frenemies. They are the people who are so ready to sabotage you. And if you just take a minute and sit back and be quiet and just observe everyone, go through maybe 6 months while you're building yourself, while you're finding your purpose, while you're saying, okay, this is what I want to do next. Maybe I want to go and get my master's. Maybe I want to go and write a book, or maybe I want to start a business. And I'm making sure I'm a man with a spine. I have a backbone. I have an internal compass. Yes, this is good for me. No, this is not. No, I'm not going to steal. No, I'm not cheating on anybody. I'm aware of certain, and maybe you're in the beginning of a spiritual phase, right? And you're not sure exactly what spirits are. And let me just share with you, it's not that you see the spirits flying around, but the way a person acts, it becomes a spirit. So there's people who just lie all the time, and that's a lying spirit. You can start seeing this and you can understand, okay, this is Jezebel. This person just wants to cause problems in my life. You begin to discern this. Now, you're incredibly, I mean, let's be honest, men are probably some of the most precious gifts. The Bible says that there's the gift of man. Every man is a gift. With that said, I want to just lift you up. Yes, every man is a gift, but then again, not every man is a gift to you. Okay, some do not have your best intentions at heart. So I'm happy to share this with you. I just want to remind you, as gentlemen, how to also bow out of a situation when it's not working. So, just you guys are honestly some of the coolest. They're either really straight up or they're just like, nah, we're cool. And just leave it at that without having to say too much. Guys can withdraw and just be like, no, we're cool. I'm just working on something else, and easily excuse yourself out of that. Remember that your foes can actually be your best friends because they have a lot more to prove than a person who is your friend, who knows your secrets. So be careful, gentlemen. Like, you are inheriting the earth, you are inhabiting the earth, you are someone who is a lender to many nations. And you want to make sure that people have your back. So with that said, I'm gonna go get some rest. But do a serious examination of the people in your circle, gentlemen, really. Because this is, I've seen this even in my own family. A lot of the people around you will be some of the most manipulative, and they won't have your best intention at heart. But the people who really love you and are rooting for you would all wish you would just separate yourself from that. I'm going to do another video for the women, and specifically for, anyway, we'll get into that much later. I'm going to go to bed. I'll see you guys later. Take care. Bye.